Hi Libra, I hope you guys doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for the beginning of September. Can you believe it? Crazy, the summer's over. Let's get right into things. Welcome. My name's Jackie. For those of you who are new here, welcome back to those of you who are part of the community already. I do weekly messages for all of the astrological archetypes. I mix tarot, astrology, numerology, and psychology. Let's get right into things. I'm just going to throw down, for general messages, and I'll break out into relationship, and then those of you in separation, I'll timestamp in the description box below, like I always do. Remember, guys, the messages are general. Take what resonates, throw out the rest. Guys, we're starting out with the Tower and the Card of Pain. What? All right, listen. Libra, our cardinal friends. Got to talk about this Chiron retrograde in your 7th house. I feel like it's very relevant for what's going on. Very relevant because it's sitting opposite, especially for those of you who are Libra ascendants. But it doesn't really matter wherever your Libra energy is in your chart. I don't know you, right? I don't know your personal chart. These messages are general, but Aries is opposite you, right? So wherever your Libra energy falls, it's going to be opposite Chiron, which is retrograde. And just getting right into that, I want to start out with this, especially because of what's going on here, right? We have this new moon that's happening with Mars and the Sun in Virgo. It's all happening on the 6th. That's happening in your 12th house. Very important to remember to understand this, because the 12th house is the house of the hidden. It's the house of the subconscious. It's where you sacrifice. You feel very sacrificial in the 12th house, where you feel like you are sacrificing what you want, need, and desire, where you feel like you need to martyr yourself, where you keep yourself small. It's the healing of things. It's the ending of things, right? And all of this happens like under your hood, right? Because it's in the 12th house. Okay, fine. So that's where the new moon is happening. And at the same time, it's trining Uranus, which is in your 8th house of cycles. 8th house has to do with merging, sex, intimacy, shared finances, inheritance, taxes, loans, assets, property, any kind of joint venture. It's where you show up as a we in a situation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business situation, okay? Now, with Uranus trining this, you're not only going to be open to new, but you're also going to be embracing change, and you're going to be working to elevate your experience, especially in this 12th and 8th house. It's like your subconscious is going to be on overdrive. Now, this is where I'm going to talk about Chiron retrograde opposing you, because you have a lot of potential to be a very strong and authentic spokesperson for healing and change in your life based on your own experiences with your inner wounds. You're likely avoiding this opportunity right now, though. I feel like there's going to be sort of this sidestepping here, right? Because it's difficult for you. It's difficult for you to accept who you genuinely are and what you genuinely want out of a person or a situation, whether this is a personal relationship, a business situation, whatever it is, but there's this need for change. You can try to hide from or downplay your pain and disappointment, but in doing that, you're going to probably end up like overcompensating, either to a person or group of people that you're dealing with or just others in your life, with a facade of confidence or ambition that's not really very genuine, right? And especially because that Chiron energy, right, for a lot of you, it's sitting opposite the Venus and pre-shadow Mercury, because Mercury's going into pre-shadow on September 6th also. It's not going retrograde until the 27th. So there's going to be a lot of deep introspection having to do with love, having to do with money, having to do with how you really feel about being in something. And you're going to realize that you can't continue, right? You're being made to honestly look at the pain, the disappointment, the sadness of a situation. You might be experiencing a little bit of depression, but guys, whatever's not working here, whatever's coming down, it wasn't serving you. That relationship, that job, whatever it was, because remember, the Tower is Mars, right? And Mars is all about getting us on our rightful path. And he'll give us the warning signs, he'll give us the red flags, but if we ignore, it's only a matter of time where he's going to come in and say, all right, I got to help you out, my friend. I'm going to pull this bitch down and I'm going to put you on the Chariot, because the Chariot is in numerology, the Tower, which is a Cancer energy representing your metaphorical home space. I'm going to take you, I'm going to bring you where you need to go, because it's not here, not in the way that it is. And that could be very painful, but the lights are going to come on here. And I do think that this is going to end up happening for you, even though this might be super uncomfortable, because you're going to be realizing, again, this pre-shadow Mercury is mental. It's what goes on in your mind. It's what's on your mind. What are you thinking, right? And that Mercury energy with Venus and Libra, it's all going to be happening in your first house of self, your first house of identity, your approach to life. The lights are going to be on. You're going to be realizing that you can't continue as you are without imploding. So by working to look honestly at your fears, insecurities, and past traumas, you're going to be so much more effective and peaceful in your life, Libra. But step one is recognize the lesson here. That's the world energy. This is Saturn. It's not easy. It's Saturn. But man, is it worth it. But step one is acceptance, recognizing the pain, the reality of a situation, your reality. Clear. Self-love, self-acceptance. Because the thing is, until you do this, and it may not come easy for you straight out of the gate, you're going to probably project your own wounds onto others around you and fear or resent those who remind you of your limitations. You know, and what it is that you can't do and can have in that situation, in that career opportunity, whatever it is. So the Five of Pentacles is this very perceived sense of lack. It's not really based in reality. It's like a test where you feel the sense of lack. Now, some of you can be feeling very tested because something not working out. Right? Where something came down, there was a lot of like, wow, the lights came on, lesson learned, but now what? It's easy, very easy here to feel this sort of element of disconnect, this pain, right? In the aftermath of something not working out. But this is all, you have more support than you realize. If it's a very testing time that you're feeling, it's a minor arcana, it's going to pass. But the best way to get through this is to really work with that Chiron retrograde. It's going to be hanging with you, or with all of us, until December 28th. Right? And Chiron retrograde is very, very healing. So Hermit energy, Virgo, going within, for some perspective, looking at the cycles of something, looking at a different strategy, looking at a different approach, being very proactive. Remember, this is Virgo. Virgo is all about problem solving. So if this has to do with any kind of relationship that you're in, I mean, quite frankly, the Tower is a very powerful energy. So this is either something, if it's not coming down, if you're not losing your job, not quitting your job, not leaving your marriage, not making that decision to leave at some point, right? You don't want to bite your nose off to spite your face. At least making the decision because of disappointment, because of depression, and you're realizing you can't live like that anymore. Whatever the case is, whatever it is, you're going to be looking at the lesson here. You need to be looking at the lesson here. In order for, and there's got to be this moving away from the toxicity, but you can't move away from something that you don't shine light on. You can't, right? You can't act like something's not going on. That's not going to work here, right? So it's like lights are on. Absolutely moving away from the toxicity. And what's nice about this is allowing some space for you to do some internal work and just detaching from whatever's not working here. Because however it's going, whatever's going on here can't move forward with you, even if it's painful. Because there's got to be this focus on new. And I mean, it's just, this is a beautiful read to me as a reader because I see so much growth, even though I see so much simultaneous challenge. So I don't want you to think that I'm like tone deaf to whatever challenges going on in your life, but we do have the Three of Pentacles, which is really nice, even though it's a minor arcana, but it's Mars and Capricorn, and this is about collaborating. So this is great for business. This is even great for relationship. This has to do with success. I always call this the architect card because it's like coming in and saying, okay, how are we going to work this out? Let's come up with plans for that business. Let's figure out in this relationship, how are we going to move forward? So it's like things fall apart, but now you're like, okay, I need to kind of put things back together, and I really need to focus on doing something and being in something that's more rewarding than what I've been in. So for a lot of you, if this has to do with career or money, you're going to be moving into a space where your talents shine. Some of you are going to be taking part in some sort of successful launch of something. Maybe you're going to be deciding to sell your home. Okay, but it's a good energy. It's definitely a good energy where people around you will be like, wow, Libra really kind of is figuring it out, getting, his or her ducks in a row, and definitely figuring it out. We have two very benefic energies here side by side. Ace of Swords is really nice. This is auspicious for all areas of your life, having to do new beginnings and decisions and very clear thinking, which is nice. Clear thinking in work, in love, any area of life, really. This is an immediate change of your circumstances for the better, because you're being very mentally agile and very assertive, not aggressive. You don't want to be aggressive, but assertive. And this is even for a lot of you, this is even getting over past obstacles within any kind of relationship, whether it's business, whether it's family, whether it's intimate. But getting over past obstacles and whatever that means for you, because it's what you really want becoming, manifesting more in your reality. So however that rolls out for you, for some of you, it's going to be getting out of that situation. For others of you, it's going to be, that's kind of like an issue. Or for others of you, it's going to be, more like moving into something. But to have this energy going on, I just feel like, the moon's just going to be hanging out on the top part of your chart, for this whole week. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of dealing with other people in a way where there's just going to be so much realization, right? The moon's going to be in Cancer on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in your 10th house, having to do with your career. For some of you, your long-term goals. For others of you, this has to do with your status, your reputation. And again, status could be married, not married, parent, nope, not a parent. Like, do you want to become a parent? All of that, like your status, your station in life, what's going on. And with that Cancer energy, there could be a lot of talk of home, of children, of anything like that. Do you not want to? Are you with somebody who wants to do those things with you? How comfortable and confident do you feel in your career? How at home do you feel in what it is that you're doing, right? So that's the 1st to the 3rd. And then Leo, the moon goes into Leo on the 4th and 5th, and that's going to be in your 11th house, having to do with your friends, hanging out with your friends. Leo moon is a great energy. It's that your emotions are going to be in a space of connecting with friends and having fun and falling in love and being romantic, and also the idea of children, right? Because Leo Leo's the landlord of the 5th house, which rules fertility, guys. And when we're talking about moon energy in Leo, that's a very fertile energy. So a lot of you are actually going to be at least discussing the hopes and wishes of having children. A lot of you are going to be in that space, but there might be some challenge in that area because it's going to be opposing your 5th house. And then finally, we have that Virgo moon on the 6th into the 7th, and all of that's going to be happening in your internal house of self. So a lot of you are going to just be like, I don't know, like if my partner is on the same page as me as having a child, or as getting this marriage back on track, is getting this relationship back on track. I'm not sure if my business partner is on the same page as me. Do you know what I mean? Like anything like that. And you're very focused on your happiness, right? We have this Tower energy going into the Hermit, going into the 9 of Cups. So whatever falls apart is going to put you into a state of introspection to problem solve, because you want to be happy. Now, some of you are going to find that you're going to be returning to someone from your past. So for some of you, this could just be turning to old friends from your past for comfort, reconnecting with an old relationship from the past. For others of you, you're going to be just looking to find balance in your life, especially any area, and you're going to know where it is if you're resonating with this, where you feel like you've suffered mistreatment, things being remedied here. So it's a very healing energy in that way. But I feel like there's like sort of this new vibe coming in at the bottom here. This 6 of Cups energy. Some of you might even be returning to a job that you used to take part in, a project that you started up once upon a time. Maybe you're going back and finishing that book, whatever the case is. But then clarifying that, we have the Page of Cups, and this is the personification of water here. So really good news about an emotional aspect of your life. So it could be anything from love, money, family, fun, anything like that. For some of you, this is a new potential partner coming in. Others of you, this is a new cycle with a partner, a new cycle in your business. Page always indicates a new cycle. Remember, Page is the young'un of the court. So you want to think youth, young. Whenever we have pages, there could be an element of immaturity that's involved here as well. But I feel like, you know, with the Page of Cups, if you look at this particular card, you see how it's got the pig in the corner when pigs fly, right? And because it's coming out of the cup, it has to do with emotions. And look, he is an old version of himself is leaving. So there's this new cycle that's happening in an area of your life. So it's almost like you're sort of switching out the old you and welcoming in the new you. And some of you are going to be, hey, I'm a mom. I'm going to have a baby. I'm going to start that business. I want to buy that house. I'm going to expand my life in some way, right? Because the Empress is all about that. As the mother of the tarot, she's all about growth. Taking that idea, taking that seed, taking that fill in the blank, nurturing it, cultivating it, growing it, and birthing it, and then doing it all over again. That's why she's straight up Venus. This could have anything to do with what I just said about fertility. It could also have anything to do with money. Venus is a money energy as well. This could also have to do just simply with your self-esteem and how you're feeling in your station in life and just how you're feeling in your own skin. So that's what I have for you as the general messages for the week. Let's go into relationship. Use these. We'll do a Celtic cross spread for our Virgo friend. Virgo, listen to me. Maybe you're dealing with Virgo. With our Libra friends. I have the new moon on my mind. The new moon on my mind. So, you know, and a lot of you are just going to be very sort of in this introspective, this space of tension, though, too, because, you know, Uranus and Taurus is all about these cycles, right? We talk about this. Uranus is all about blowing things up, and that sounds very dramatic, but making change, right? Uranus is all about change. It's very, very revolutionary, and it could happen on a micro level, but you're definitely feeling these changes when it comes to how you merge with others. You know, could have to do with intimacy, sex, again, everything I mentioned before, shared finances, shared anything cyclical. The 8th house also rules the stock market. Now it's going to be in conjunct, or quincunx, right, same thing, that Mercury pre-shadow with Venus and Libra, right, in your first house of self. So there's going to be this inescapable kind of tension. You can't get away from it. When it comes to cycles, a lot of you are going to be dealing, I'm just saying straight up, very anxious energy for a lot of you right now. Because that 8th house with Uranus in there, it's like that 8th house is where our anxieties hang, you know? So you want, you know, and because it's in conjunct with your first house of self, it's like whatever's going on in this idea of how you show up as a we in whatever situation it is, anything, friendship, business situation, whatever it is, wherever the tension is hanging out, you have to look at that. When we're talking about a quincunx and in conjunct, same thing, in conjunct, basically what it means is you can't ignore something for a couple of days. You can't procrastinate something and expect it to go away. It's not going to go away. It's almost like the 2 of Swords energy, right? Where it's like, you know, if you're at an emotional stalemate with something, you have to actually look at it and do something. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to decide how are you going to handle a situation. So coming into this energy, we have the 3 of Pentacles for those of you in relationship. Again, Mars and Capricorn, all about coming together. Building something. What are we going to do? Are we going to get married? Are we going to have a baby? Are we going to go on that trip? Are we going to sell our house? Are we going to, you know, whatever it is, making that big a decision, but together, right? Trying to do it together, right? So this is in the past. So right now we are currently, right? This is you. You are the Chariot. So the Chariot is... Okay, because in numerology, I don't know why I'm being called to understand it like this first. In numerology, the Chariot is the Tower, right? As I mentioned before in the first spread, the Tower is the Chariot is the Tower in numerology. So there's some sort of necessary. So you're in this space of necessary surrender, trying to get away from anything that's toxic in the relationship, feeling anything that feels, so such an overgeneralized term, right? Toxic, I almost kind of hate that word now, but you know what I mean. Anything that feels like it's not working. Really looking at that and being very focused on this, because this is a Cancer energy, right? In astrology. So it's really about, what do you need to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure? And because it's Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon, and it's that fourth house energy, it has to do with mothering, it has to do with children, it has to do with, we're going to extend it to parenting. So I kind of think a lot of fathers are involved in the raising of their children as well. So the idea of being a parent could certainly be where you're at right now, right? That could be you right now. But you want to get away from the toxicity, like whatever it is, whatever's not working, right? Because there are arguments, and this is the challenge for you, and you just don't want to deal with this nonsense anymore, right? There's a battle of the wills, lack of agreement, strong opinions, fighting to be heard. And it's like, it's almost like a lot of you, I feel like a lot of you feel like you're banging your head against the wall. It's like, oh, come on. Like, they keep saying they're going to do A, B, and C, but they don't do A, B, and C. I don't know, And so, again, going back to the Chiron retrograde, though, you want to, and I'm not suggesting that this is not really happening. Obviously, it is. But at the same time, you really need to understand, while you're going through this, how very, very important it is to accept who you genuinely are and what you need out of a situation versus maybe what you're saying, because you might feel uncomfortable with what you really need deep down. And this is an energy that, don't beat yourself up. There's nothing wrong with it. This is part of the human condition. It happens very often when Chiron sits opposite our sign, where it's like, I need to accept who I really am and what I really want, but I might not really like what that answer is. I might think of myself as a kind of icky, and I might think that what I really want in this relationship, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're a guy and you're in a relationship here, right? What you really want, keeping it real, guys, this is only an example, okay? You really want a wife or partner who contributes to the relationship financially, is open and accepting to you whenever you want to have any kind of intimacy, anything like that. Somebody who's unconditionally understanding, and somebody who's just there no matter what. And like, that's what you want. And if you don't have that, things are going to feel a little crooked for you. You're always going to feel like you're in a space of lack. You want the old school woman. You would like if your wife could keep the house clean, make the meals, be sexually available, contribute to the household in many ways. Like, very, right? Wow, wouldn't that be awesome? But yet, wow, maybe that's not very fair, right? Like, how does that roll out in reality? Same thing with women. Maybe you honestly want to meet a guy, not that you don't want to work. You're okay to work, but you really want a guy who's going to take care of you. Like, you want to work for fun money, or you want to work to be able to save your money, or to do other things. But you would like it if you had a partner who could come in and just take care of the rest of life. Go to work, make a lot of money, take care of the expenses, take care of whatever. But keeping it real on the down low, I really don't want to have any part of that. I just want to sort of enjoy life, look really cute, because I'm a Virgo, so I'm pretty. I'm good looking, and enjoy really beautiful things. Again, because, did I say Virgo again? I got this silly new moon in my mind, because I'm a Libra, and I'm pretty. I'm not a Libra, you guys are. But you understand what I'm saying? There's a very high call for you to recognize that right now. So I'm just giving those as mundane examples, because, guys, there's no question that within the relationship, something is missing. You're recognizing this. You might be with somebody who, by all accounts, looks fabulous on paper. They might be loyal, dependable. They have a lot to offer. They're doing the best that they can. You know that, but there's something missing. And whatever the best that they can means to them, you can't ask more of a person. Everybody's showing up with the best that they can. but it's almost like they in low key, it's kind of missing the mark. Whether it's that they're boring, that they don't share their feelings enough, they're not romantic enough, they don't make enough money, whatever. It doesn't have to be about the money. It could just be there's just something missing, and it's like the lack of that to capture your heart in the long term might be difficult, like squaring that out, you know. And then we have this working with the Two of Wands, just, you know, making plans and moving forward, right? But this is the present situation. Present situation is you guys are moving forward, but you feel like some of you are going to be like, all right, look, wait a minute. I can't stay in this because they don't feel like this is the right thing. Two of Wands could be you meeting somebody new through work or friends. For some of you, it could be like that, right? For others of you, it's like, all right, I'm really underwhelmed with this person, but I'm still moving forward with it. And then you have to reason that out. Is what you feel like they're lacking part of what you need to heal inside of you with this Chiron retrograde opposite you until December, because you're all feeling it in some part of your life, especially Libra risings. Maybe I'm going to say Libra suns. All Libra. We're all feeling it somewhere, though. We all have Libra in our chart. So wherever our Libra's hanging out, this Chiron retrograde is opposite. It doesn't matter what sign you are, right? But wherever the Libra is in your energy, that's what's going to be happening here. So some of you are going to be making the decision to leave because you really don't want to look at the ick, and you don't think that this person is ever going to be able to actually be who and what you need in the long term. Others of you are staying anyway, hoping for the best, but you might be dealing with somebody super solid, really solid, guys, but you might have to look at your own stuff, right? So it depends on where you're at. This is the recommended approach, Ace of Swords. This is about getting over past obstacles and getting what you want, thoughts becoming things. But it's only through getting over past obstacles and establishing the idea that there's got to be some sort of new beginning with very clear thinking. And clear thinking, I mean truth, I mean honesty, I mean putting it all out on the table. And that's everything, everything. Now, the energy that's opposite you, we have the Six of Cups. So this is somebody who really wants to find balance in the relationship. They really do. Somebody that you're dealing with is feeling they're feeling nostalgic about the good times. They want to reconcile issues within the relationship. If it's somebody who you're in a relationship right now, they're sort of like in that space where they want to try to fix things. Others of you, this is somebody from the past who's knocking on your energy, who really wants to come back in. And that could definitely speak as well to this Ace of Swords energy. So some of you may be sort of like in between, I don't know. I mean, if you're trying to work out something with somebody here, but then somebody's coming back from the past. But there's got to be this idea of whatever it means to you, whatever this means to you, getting over past the obstacles. But your challenge here is the Empress. So some of you might be like, I don't really know if I want to have a baby. I don't really know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to get married. I don't know if I want to do that thing that's going to elevate us to that next level. All of us move in. I mean, obviously, Libras are all ages and stages. A lot of you guys are like, the shop's closed in that area, men and women alike, right? But the Empress energy, regardless of how you look at it, is always about growth. So there's some sort of block for you. For some of you, it's like, maybe they don't contribute enough financially. Maybe it's you just can't see yourself growing with them in any way, right? Beyond where you are. However growth would manifest in your life, that's something that is a challenge to you right now. And with the world's most positive card in the deck, because it's Saturn, and Saturn gets a bad rap, right? But the world is about, in numerology, this is the Empress, right? So we kind of have double Empress here, this idea of growth. But you want to think with the world, you want to think completion, but you want to think lessons learned. And something not being able to go past a certain point because the lesson has been learned, and now it's time for happiness. Now it's time for, a focus on a fulfilling, loving relationship. But you're recognizing that what you're in right now may not be it, even because you're recognizing what it is that you need. So it's a very much, this month the lights, I've been saying this in a lot of the videos, the lights are going to be coming on for everyone in a particular area of life. It's a boom. The lights are going to be popping. Uranus does that a lot, you know, and especially because it's trining the sun. The sunlight trining with Mars, that Mars energy, that warrior energy in your 12th house, you are not going to be able to escape your little self. Nobody even might, people in the room with you may not even realize everything that's going on between your ears and behind your eyes. It's like a battlefield in there, right? Because you're trying to figure something out. But this is all about restrictions, self-imposed limitations, feeling really trapped, thinking things are never going to get better. What do I do? Oh my God, I don't feel like this is really what I want. I don't feel like this is the right situation for me. What am I going to do? So some of you are going to be like, all right, hold the phone. We have to stop and drop right here. And we have to figure out what are the big sweeping changes that need to be made, because it can't continue the way it is. Others of you are going to be in this space where you know damn well for this week you feel trapped. And you might be treading water, right? And even though the energy is pushing and saying, right, with this, again, with Uranus in conjunct with that first house itself, the Mercury pre-shadow with Venus in your sign, it's if you don't make the move on something, whether it's to fix it, whether it's to leave it, however it manifests for you, something is going to ultimately end up happening for you. So you just want to be very, very careful. And just keep in mind that when we go into Mercury pre-shadow, not a big deal. Mercury goes retrograde half the flipping time. We have to live life. And retrograde means to go within. So yes, we're going to start to experience issues with our cars and with our electronics and with our communication. Know that. But because Mercury is very mental and it's what's on our minds, we're going to be going within to review, revisit. A lot of you are going to be reconnecting, trying to reconcile situations, especially with the Six of Cups energy, going back and trying to reconcile something. Okay, so if it's not a relationship, it's to reconcile situations that are an issue in the relationship. Like, this is not an energy to say, well, that's them and this is me and that's it, period, the end. So we're just going to live life like this. And if you're feeling disconnected, it's going to end up being a problem. And well, you know, ultimately it will end up being more of an issue than it is. I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just telling you that because I know the astrology. I'm seeing it. And I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. I feel like a lot of you already know what I'm talking about. Let's pull some cards for those of you in separation. Oh. I'm not feeling those. Okay. The Libras in separation. Oh, that was one that just fell out, so that's important. Okay. Our love was too intense for me to handle. I needed to break away. Huh. Our love was too intense for me to handle. Now, this could be you, or this could be towards you, or towards them, or you guys towards each other. And that's being clarified by talking. All right, let's just pull these and then we'll... Okay. So, our love was too intense for me to handle. I needed to break away, and that's being clarified by talking. A weighted message arrives, text, call, email. I know I didn't handle things the right way, but I don't know how to fix it. Okay. I still feel connected to you, but I've waited too long to reach out. Is it too late for us? Oh, somebody's missing you in a big way, Libra. Reminiscing, perception, learning from the past. Ooh, I messed up big time. So maybe you messed up, maybe they messed up, somebody messed up. This is the energy here. My memories of you haunt me and keep me thinking about what could have been. So I feel like there's like fear of commitment with regret going on here. But then we have coffin. Endings bring new beginnings. Growth, change, liberation, transition. I'm so insecure and I know it's a problem, but looking at myself isn't easy. Ooh. I still have dreams about you and our happy times together. And that's being clarified by paradise, happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, enjoying each other. I love you, but I'm afraid to lose my freedom. I don't know how to balance this. Oh. Yeah, so it does seem like there's sort of this very interesting dance that's going on here between fear of commitment and the strong desire to be in something. Could be dealing with a Gemini, you could be dealing with an Aries, you could be dealing with a Sag, because those are all, even a Scorpio, those signs for sure. 6 of Pentacles, the Emperor, let me just get these out, the Strength energy, and the Knight of Wands. Okay. Knight of Wands. See, I mean, this is like very fiery energy here. Very fiery. Speed, and like things speed up here with the Knight of Wands. Lots of passion here. But there's this call to balance, right? This idea of insecurity versus not. Really looking at stuff. Because the Truth energy it's positive, meaning like it, obviously your relationship's been tested. If you guys are in separation, things could get better, but there's a need for balance here. There's definitely a need for balance. As you transition, if you guys do decide to get back together here. So this is, I messed up big time, right? Missing you, all of this. If it's clarified by the Emperor energy, this is Aries. This is somebody coming in and saying, look, I really feel like I need to speak my piece, say what I need to say, take control of the situation, and we need to have a fresh path with a new perspective. There's no other way of doing this. And so the 6 of Pentacles is a nice energy to have here, because here it's like, okay, our love was too intense. Let's talk about it. I know I didn't handle things the right way. It's time. We have 2 energies of balance, because this really is, I have your back, you have mine, and let's just be here to support each other as we sort of work through this. But it's going to be up to you, my friends, because if you're dealing with somebody, you might even be in that space where you're not totally sure of what it is that you want. It's like there's this relationship that you want, or they want as well, but there's this fear of commitment, but there's this missing. So it's complex. It's a complex kind of situation. So depending on what else is going on in your own individual charts, depending on what's going on within the synastry of the 2 of you within your energy, but it does seem like, you know, the basic general energy here is that of reconnecting to see if things can't be figured out. They can't always be, but it does look like that that the symphony is not yet over. It does seem like. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have a gorgeous week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.